Chapter 12. All hell broke loose. I have realized that if you are a threat to the kingdom of darkness, Satan will bring an onslaught of his forces to try to stop you. This is why it is so important that we walk clean and do not play games. It's also important that people have a wall and hedge of protection of massive prayer surrounding them at all times. If not, it's like going into battle naked. You have nothing on and you have no weapons. You become an easy target for the enemy. As I stated in the introduction, I believe that some of the attack I had was brought on by my own actions, which was actually delayed judgment of God. He had to unravel the mess I was in. Some of it was simply the enemy attempting to kill and silence me. I haven't even mentioned the car accidents that I've been in, because I'm saving an entire chapter for that. The events that unfolded after the 700 Club interview airing should have taken me out, but they did not. This is what happened. The interview was aired. It was seen by millions of people worldwide. My pastor, Gomer, was in awe of how God worded my mouth and how profound it was. He acknowledged it from the pulpit and expressed how proud of me he was. The following week, a woman who I tried to avoid like the plague, Delilah, came up to me and asked the following question at an early morning prayer meeting. She said, "Michelle, I want to know how come you are always up for prayer at every service." I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "I'm having an affair with my boss, and I don't know how to get out of it." She was amazed at my candor and walked away. Within 3 days, the entire church had heard that I was having an affair. Delilah thought it was her religious duty to spread that hot gossip all over. When it had gotten back to me that this news was out, I cried to the Lord. I spent hours sobbing over the fact that a powerful story had just been told to the world, and in my own hometown, I'm the modern-day version of the woman caught in adultery. The only difference is, instead of everybody wanting to stone me, I was getting stoned. Get it? The Lord said to me, "You have to come clean. You have no other choice." I discussed it briefly with Harold, and he wanted me to keep my mouth shut. I told him that I had to do what I had to do. That Sunday, after praise and worship, I asked the pastor if I could say something. He allowed me the freedom to come up in front of the church, which was a congregation of about 100 people. I opened up my mouth and I said, "I need to ask your forgiveness because I have been living a double life. I have been getting high on weed and I've been having an affair. I'm telling you this because after the TB interview, it is vital that I come clean for God to continue to work in my life." I then began sobbing. Needless to say, the pastor had to put his sermon off. Gomer was in awe. He did not know what to say because he knew I was having the affair, but he didn't know how to stop it. I was also the top giver in the church. As I stood in front of my accusers, he spoke on my behalf. One by one, each person in the congregation came up to me and thanked me for getting real and said they forgave me. Delilah was the first one. Like, she jumped up. I remember that. She jumped up. Some of them were sincere, and some of them were as phony as $3 bills. I had no problem discerning the sheep from the goats. Considering the fact that the hometown that I lived in was small, simple, and full of gossips, that event got all over the county. After all, it's hot gossip to say that the lady is doing the man. It was even hotter gossip that the lady with the big green Victorian house with the Jesus Answers Prayer sign in front of her porch is an adulteress. To make matters worse, exactly 1 week from my confession, Gomer, our pastor, resigned the church. I was crushed, and I took all the blame for him leaving. I loved my pastor, and now he was jumping ship in my greatest time of need.